International conferences of this size are generally about research, plenary sessions, rushing from one session room to another. But protesters have become a part and feature of these international conferences, and this 19th International AIDS Conference is no different.
The banks took our money. It's time to take it back. End AIDS with the Robin Hood.
A group of protesters stood above where I'm standing now, and they chanted, "The banks took our money, we'll take it back. End AIDS now with the Robin Hood tax." We got an opportunity to catch up with a few of these protesters.
Well, the people who control taxes on this issue know very well that the very few are benefiting and that the majority are suffering. So they're not going to give up easily. But we know that it's contagious when people hear that this is a tax not on the people, but for the people, and this is the justice we need. And people get very excited about it from all walks of life when they understand a little tiny tax on stock market transactions would generate billions of dollars for HIV/AIDS, healthcare, the environment, and jobs. So everyone's going to be on our side that needs to make this happen, and we're going to see it through.
But what is this Robin Hood tax?
So the Robin Hood tax is actually an amazing mechanism. It was created in the 70s by a Nobel Prize winning economist named James Tobin. Some people refer to it as the Tobin tax. And the great idea has been around since then. He created it because he foresaw that the speculative stock market could get us into serious trouble. We can actually get money from the Tobin tax, from the Robin Hood tax, whatever you call it, financial transaction tax. We can get up to $350 billion each year. The great thing about the Robin Hood tax is that it's actually not a tax on an individual. It's not, a billionaire's tax or a millionaire's tax. Not that those are bad ideas, mind you, because I don't make $1 million, I don't make $1 billion, and I pay taxes. The Robin Hood tax is just like a sales tax. When you go and buy a shirt, you and I go and buy a shirt, we expect to pay a sales tax. We pay that tax. We understand that that goes into our government. That's what makes it run. Well, this is a tax on financial transactions. It's the same concept as a sales tax. Right now, those things are not taxed. So this is not an unfair class warfare, rich against the poor tax. This is about big banks who are engaging in dangerous financial practices that affect all of us at the end of the day. Finally being charged the same tax that we're charged when we go and buy a latte or a coffee or a shirt.
But why should Jamaicans and the region as a whole care about the implementation of this tax?
This is actually a worldwide idea. You just heard earlier this morning President Hollande from France. He just talked about how we need a financial transaction tax, a Robin Hood tax that could actually end AIDS. We could use that money for research, access to treatment, prevention, access to condoms, access to syringes, and we can end the AIDS pandemic in the next 30 years if we had this money.
With the US presidential elections looming large and the challenger, Mitt Romney, and his offshore account controversy, and him being in the top 1% of the 1%, could FATCA and this new Robin Hood tax miss the region? I am Devon Hunter reporting for CBMP and CVM.